Right then, welcome back. Today we are doing race 5 in this world modern 1000cc mouthful. We're at Imola and we're going to go with the BMW because it's got plenty of poke and I don't want to use the Honda again. Qualifying, what an absolute cluster that was. Never set a clean lap, either running on at chicanes or falling off. So, we are starting from the back of the grid on a wet track where I've not set a clean qualifying time. So, you can imagine the fun and trepidation that is about to ensue. So, we've got up to 9th, and yeah, I play Skittles. So by the time we've got back on and we're going again, we're in 11th. I bravely, or stupidly, whichever way you look at it, stick it around the outside of the AI, down through Aqua Minerale, which is brave, and then it's a case of working our way back up through the pack, trying not to run on at chicanes and get 2 seconds worth of penalties. The difficult part of this was resisting temptation. Not doing stupid things like that. Sticking up the inside on a gap that wasn't really big enough. Missing braking points. Trying to outbrake people into chicanes and hairpin bends. Every time I tried to be clever, it spat me off. And Fabrice Blanchett, who was in the lead a minute ago, is fast, and I was not going to beat her or him on outright pace. It was a case of being clever, and when I say being clever, is looking at the amount of fuel that was getting used, how far through the race we were, etc, etc. So, it's wet, the track is drying out, it was only a matter of time before we had to go back in for dry tyres. It helped that the AI were crashing more often than I was. Although I was trying, I wasn't exactly throwing all ambition out the window. I was still trying to move forward, but the gap to the front after the first round of pit stops, after the pit stops, I was never going to close it up, and then I crashed again, but we'll come to that when we get to it. So the AI were quick, they were putting up a decent fight. The BMW's okay, its power is all at the top end, so you tend to get a bit of a bungee effect where they gap me out the corner, I catch back up, and that's what happened with that Panigale then. I've run into the back of him a couple of times and I'm all over the place, I'm on the curbs, and then I get spot off. The bike decides it's had enough. So we end up back down in 7th, 10-second gap to the leader. That's the important bit, the gap to the leader. We're 5 laps in, the temperature is slowly coming up. It was 15-16 degrees when we started, and slowly but surely, and there's another mistake, closing the throttle and then getting back on it over the bumps. Slowly but surely the temperature, the ambient temperature is coming up. So 8 laps in, 15 minutes, the track is pretty much dry, the AI start going into the pit, so I'm like, right, what am I going to do? I'm on rain tyres, the front tyre is a bit grumpy, I'm 15 minutes in, I've used 60% of my fuel. If I go in the pits now, I reckon I can drag the fuel out for the rest of the race. So, I pit, I want the front tyre to last as long as possible, so I go for a hard, I go for a medium rear, 23 minutes, I probably make it last. If not, I'll just turn the traction control up. Full tank of gas. The plan is to not stop again. We are not stopping again for fuel, we're not stopping again for tyres. What I've got, I'm going to make last to the end of the race and hope, fingers crossed, bear in mind we're now 13, 14, 15 seconds behind Fabrice in the lead. The difference is she's gone for a soft rear tyre and she's on 90% fuel. I've got a 10% fuel advantage now, so I'm not going to use power mode, and I'll flick to eco mode. When we get down to 5 minutes, I should have 25% fuel left. So we'll see how we get on. Now it's just a case of not falling off, working my way back through, and just setting nice, quick, consistent lap times. And that all goes out the window. We end up back down in 5th. We're 15 seconds behind now. 10 minutes left. She's got 25% fuel. She's not making 10 minutes on 25% fuel. No way. A tank of gas lasts what, 20 minutes? So 10 minutes is 50%. 5 minutes is 25%. Even if she went into eco mode, I still think she's going to struggle to make it last. So we just keep going. I've got 32% fuel. I've still got probably enough rear tyre to make it last. I'm trying not to crash again. I know that's very difficult, but I'm trying not to crash. I've got a 2 and a bit second penalty. I'm just trying to not let that gap to the leader grow too much. What's a pit stop? 40 seconds, 45 seconds-ish. So I know what I've got to do. I've just got to make the sums work. And we've got 4 minutes left, and if you watch in the top left of the screen, she's just gone into the pits. So we know she's gone in. I'm 13 seconds behind. As long as I don't fall off, we're all good. I've got 21% fuel, so I'm there or thereabouts if I stay in standard mode. Second has also gone into the pits now, so they're pretty much out of the equation. We'll see what Casey Walker's going to do. He was the rider that was behind me. So what do we do? Well, I guess what I've got to do is I've got to go into eco mode and conserve as much fuel as possible, ride the bike steady, don't fall off on the bumps through that corner or down through Aqua Minerale. So that's what we did, and it worked. We've got 8% fuel left, we're on the last lap, and we've got a 30-second gap. The tyres are a little bit cold, but we've made them last. It was incredibly difficult not trying to go hell for leather and close the gap to the leader. I have this, as I'm sure a lot of people do, this necessity, this need to be at the front. If I'm at the front, I'm winning, I'm going to win the race. And this is the last endurance race that I'm planning or intending to do before we go on to the big ones, the 8-hour ones. I am going to do some events in between to give me a bit of a buffer. I might do a video every other day and get maybe 4 or 5 events done, and it will just give me a bit of a buffer to sit down and do an 8-hour race. It takes me a day and a half to do an event, edit the video, upload it and get it on YouTube and do everything else, so the process takes a little while. So we'll see. This is done, all 5 are done. It means I've unlocked the MV F4 1000 endurance bike. So I think I'm gonna dive in with both feet, and we are gonna do the Suzuka 8-hour on the MV. Now, like I said, I'm going to do some, oh my lord, that is one pretty motorcycle. I'd like to have half an hour on that somewhere. Oosh. That is just pure naughtiness. But anyway, I'm going to do some events in the meantime, just some of the ones that I've been avoiding, and we'll get them done. I'll get a bit of a buffer, and I'm going to crack on and do that 8-hour race. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave me a like, a subscribe, a comment, and I will see you next time. Stay safe. Peace.